What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the virtual 8th mile brought to you by the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel. I'm one of your hosts. Of course, my name is George. I got my brother on the screen with me, Mr. Casey Beckmeyer. Casey, what's going on?
Not a lot, man. Just been doing a lot of work on the race car today. Had the Great American Million on the computer screen on my bench next to me, and I'd look up every once in a while. And, man, I'm telling you right now, they're doing the split. We got 19 cars left, and just the most basic of basic math says that at a minimum, they have $1.2 million left to split up in this split, man. To put that into perspective, $1.2 million split evenly amongst 19 guys is still over $63,000.
Still a lot of money either way you slice the pie, huh?
Right, man. And I mean, we got a lot of really good racers still in. As soon as we get this next run, we'll do a play-by-play as far as who is still in. As far as right now goes, I know that Jake Hodge is still in. I know that Tyler Bohannon's still in. I'm pretty sure Will Holloman's still in. And I know Mark Williams is in right now. And it looks like I see Tim Thomas's car back there right now. So that's what, five of the 19. So we definitely have a lot left.
We have a lot left. It's definitely shaping up pretty nice. You know, Stephen McCory over at Champs Performance. Everybody, you hear us talk about that until we're blue in the face. Champs Performance, you need a part. Pretty sure Stephen can get it. Not right now, though, because I'm pretty sure he's after $1 million. So don't go texting him telling you that, trying to get him to get you some parts right now.
But
you might get something different.
I don't know, man. If you did, I bet you Champ would still text you back and be like, hey, man, I'm trying to work this split right now. Can I get you in between rounds?
Right. That's true. He's been notorious for doing as such. So, but definitely glad to see him still hanging around in the big show for the $1 million, man. I'm sure that's life-changing money for just about anybody in attendance at the race and anybody watching this YouTube channel right now. That's life-changing money. So, definitely some good things going on. I'm glad they finally got good weather. Seems like this particular race, they always seem to run into something as far as weather that slows them up. We still got the 80K to run still. And luckily, we still got quite a bit of time to do it. So I know there's going to be some celebrating, but I have a feeling there's going to be some drag racing going on after this million's over as well.
That's right, man. I don't know what their curfew is tonight, but I know they're going to try to finish what they can of the 80. And we all know, obviously, the reason this race exists is for the million. That's the most important about this entire deal. I know they want everything to go smoothly, but as far as things going smoothly, the most important thing is the million goes smoothly. There's just so much money out there. Everybody needs to have a fair shake of it.
That's the truth for sure. And certainly, shout out to the boys at the Guaranteed American Drag Races there, bracket races, for putting on yet another good show. Thank you for bringing this to us racers to be able to consume in the first place. We can't say that we're going to be able to come to these races without you throwing them. So I got a comment from Cody Newman in the chat here. Who's my bet? Currently, I'm going with Champ McCory. Everybody knows I want to see a door truck win because door truck rule. I know there's still a door truck left. There's probably still a couple left. I just can't remember the name of the guys driving them right now. So I think one of them may even be Bloomfield, but don't quote me. But
I think he might still be in, actually, now that you mention it.
I actually think Bloomfield is still in that little red S9. So
There's
I
a
think
really fast door cars in still there. It looks like old Pro Stock, maybe old Grand Am, maybe.
right, either a Grand Am or a Trans Am kind of looking car. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
definitely, it's fast. What's it running? 480s.
I think it's running O's. I think you're thinking of a different car. This
Okay, I
the
know
Grand
that
Am that's still in, I think, is O's.
David Bird Jones was driving one that was running in the O's as well, and in the 480s
I don't know that this might not be the car that he was driving, and maybe this is the other guy that's driving it.
potentially. You know,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, let's cut over into the race, see if we can hear what's going on for a minute, and we'll get some some play by play here soon. But this is the time that you want to be inside of this race right now, the split. So hang on to your seats as we watch them chop up a little bit of money. Casey and I will still be live with you, of course. You'll be able to hear the race here in just a moment, but feel free to chime in via chat as well.
Trying to let go on time and try to run that number.
That's what it takes to win. Good luck to you, Travis.
Thank you, buddy.
Looks like Big Jed's doing some interviews, and he's interviewing people who are still in the race, which is pretty neat.
You know, George, one thing I want to talk about here also, and this mic is live right now, right?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. The thing that I was actually wanting to talk about also is, did you notice that starting about fourth or fifth round, we started seeing a whole lot of red lights? Do you think that that's because of stress, stakes? What do you think?
Stakes, jitters. I don't think stress is the one I'd put in there, but jitters. Get up on the wheel. You've been double all day long. Well, you're up on the wheel a little bit harder, so you hit it a little bit better, and that throws you red. Everybody at this point probably needs to throw 5,000 in the box. It is what it is. This is going to be in your mind as a drag racer. I guess this is my opinion, of course, but this is going to be the round that you say, I'm going to put the best round down ever. These next
Right.
couple of rounds. So you're not going to leave, in my opinion, you're not going to leave any part of the tree behind.
I'm sure it is.
So
Well, I would say arguably fifth round at this point, since they're splitting now, going into the sixth round, since they're talking about it. Arguably, fifth round was the most important round of the entire race, because now you got big money, and now the big money's just going to get bigger. But I mean, you're talking a jump from like $3,000 worth of round money, just getting your money back, and now you're talking, like I said, maybe I would think at least $10,000, maybe 15, 20.
it's definitely going to be interesting to see. There's a lot of money to split up right now, as you mentioned, and like you said, that last round is pretty much where we're seeing the bulk of the red lights. It's because the sixth round is very, very important, especially if you're talking about making it to the split of $1 million race. So definitely a big round, and I think that's why you see the red light come out quite a bit too.
Right. Yeah, man. And I would think also that half of it has to do with the fact, I mean, people were cutting it really, really, really close on a lot of this stuff. Like, I mean, I've never heard, and I was talking about this last year whenever we were talking about this race, is that you just hear like sub 005 constantly. And I don't know if if everybody's throwing that out there, you have no choice. You have to do it. Otherwise, you're already behind at the start. So basically, I wonder if their thought is, well, if I go red, I wouldn't have had a chance unless I was 002 anyway, type thing. So you have to try to be something like that. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It's hard to kind of speculate it because I've never been there, and I know there's a lot of people who can say the same. To make it to the split of one of these races, you really have to put together one heck of a day. I know on the last stream on last Tuesday we talked about when it's your day, it's your day. And speaking of, Sean Pinkerton's actually commenting right now, and I do have to send a shout out to that young man on the screen. If you can see him right there, you see him with that tank. He's walking back and forth with that tank right there. That old buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that track's got teeth. I don't care how cold it was last night. Those cars were snatching the wheels up in the air, hooking up and running dead on. So shout out to, I can't remember the exact name of who's prepping this track, but you guys are doing a heck of a job out there. Shout out to you for sure. And if you guys are paying attention, I don't know if you can see my cursor on this screen. I'm going to try to see if you can. But I watch this all the time here. And for somebody who brings us all a race that we can kind of watch and do this with, there's a little like button down there. And I saved that like button just so I can click it right now on the Motor Mania stream. That like button, make sure you click it. It looks like there's 2,358 people watching the stream, and there's 224 likes, guys. We got to do better than that out here, okay?
Right.
Motor Mania is really giving us a way to sit at home and twiddle our thumbs and watch this race right now live. So definitely hit that like button over there, guys, and show them some love and support. But yeah, man, Casey, I've never been in the position to where it's this much money on the line. Number one. Number two, what I know that I can fall into a zone. I know you can fall into a zone. And in round 5, I think you and I have spoken enough times to know that round 5 is both of our Achilles heels at small races. I think this past season I went triple O red light 3 times in round number 5. So, hey man, throw a few numbers into that old box for round 5 is what I think the culprit is. So
right, man. The crazy thing is I really think once you make the split, at least it feels like this for me, and especially a split like this, once you make the split, things get a lot easier. And what I mean by that is there's not as much pressure because you already know you're getting good money. So if all else fails, guaranteed whoever loses this round, I mean, depending on who they are, maybe they'll hang their head. But if it's a guy like me, a guy like you, a lot of the guys that watch Golden Bracket Racing YouTube channel, whatever they lose or whatever they get for losing this round right now is probably going to be at least like winning a 10 grander and not splitting. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's true. And I got to be honest with you. I say, and Cody Newman's agreeing 100% with you as well. At a certain point in a race like this, let it all hang out, you know. And I almost feel like I need to go back on what I said and throw a few, 5, 10 in the box. I know that it's probably relevant, but in this type of level of racing, those 5,000 in the box could really cost you the race. But at the same time, you could be red. So it's kind of a double-edged sword when you look at it in that manner. It's definitely shout out to whoever's left at this point right now.
One of the greatest ever, Gary Williams, said, once you get to this point, keep doing what got you there. Why are you going to change anything? It got you there. It was good enough to get you there. Just keep doing that,
Definitely, probably, as we slide it back into the screen here, I don't really think there's much going on the schedule as of now. I'll turn some volume up so we can hear it here, guys. But definitely is a very good statement. Don't change what's got you here. I'm sure it's easy to say for Gary Williams, the guy who's been there so many times, where it's like walking his dog. But for the George Atchisons of the world, juniors, heck, man, you put me in the round 6 of $1 million. I don't know where my stomach's going to be. I don't. I hope to be in perfect standing. Maybe I got my good buddy Case Beckmeyer and a few of my buddies over here on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel standing around me kind of for moral support, keeping me calm. And maybe my wife gives me a back rub or something. I don't know, but I would hope that I could do the same thing, same thing that got me to where I am, kind of like what Gary Williams is saying there. So looking in the chat here, let's see what we got. Sean Pinkerton, this makes you wonder what hired driver is calling flyer at this point. Sean, I don't understand what you mean, man. Elaborate a little bit and I'll come back to you on that one. But I do get the hired gun part, and I think Jake Hodge is a hired gun at this point. I think he's driving the Diamond cars out of Canada. Shouts out to the Angers twins. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. Frank Francois, I think is the other guy's name. But sorry if I messed your guys' names up. Cody, you know better than me, but I'm pretty sure those are 2 Canadian borrowed rides that Jake Hodge is driving right now. Certainly glad to see the borders open to get those cars over here.
Well, and here's
Could be around
here's a little
5, best
tidbit of
losing
information
package.
for everybody that's
The
watching
Rabbit,
right now.
Kevin Brandon. Got you a set of
other thing
Goodyears,
is
bud.
Ryan Gleghorn is actually going to be our
Round 5,
guest
best
this
losing
Tuesday.
package. Kevin Brandon.
Sweet.
As you know, Ryan Gleghorn and Jake Hodge are like best buddies. So if Jake Hodge wins this race, Ryan Gleghorn might cancel on us, and we might have to get him the next week because knowing him and Jake, they'll be partying for 2 weeks after that.
Either that or we're going to have them both at the same time, which I'm pretty sure we can finagle. It's probably a good idea to do it in the first place. But I see some cars and some water going down. I'm going to slide in the race, turn up the volume. Get on your seats, guys, with the virtual 8th mile. Crack open a cold one. I might step away and grab me one. It's a little earlier than what I was expecting it to be at 3 o'clock. I have too many beers and I'd be in trouble. So sliding us in, guys. Let's have a good time.
For our bottom bulbers, as this is the Mickey Thompson.
And our mics are still live, Casey, so if you have anything you want to add on to it, you can still definitely speak them out there, buddy.
Cool.
Kevin Pollard left side, down 541. Wheeling Raider Campbell's Camaro. Look. Dead 5:15 total. Three, one above 3,
Now,
and
if you
Kevin
remember-
Pollard is going to be your Mickey Thompson no box winner.
Casey, we're
He'll
live,
roll
man, if
in
you remember.
to the round of 10.
I called Kevin
With the
Pollard
top
to
bulb
be
guys.
tough on that bottom
Right.
bulb. Pollard just wrapped up the bottom bulb right there with that, I think they said 16 pack. So I wish he was in that old Love truck like I was asking for last week. But no matter what, good job, Kevin Pollard. You're going around to the round of 10.
And that is good too, because I am fairly certain that I'm fairly certain that is Kevin's car, but he hasn't dominated in that car like he did in the truck all those years.
True.
So I'm sure that he's glad that now that car's proven itself right now.
True. Dylan, you hadn't missed anything, man. We're getting into this is the round of 19 right now. Door car. Kevin
Mike
Pollard
Buckwald left
just
side,
took
down
the,
502. Can take on David Holcomb.
for the door car.
Holcomb right side,
reward.
out 518.
And,
Two
we're
of
getting
the
into top right now.
fastest door cars left in competition.
And
Probably
I'm
two
fairly
fastest.
certain that I saw this.
Buckwald
what is
out of
it,
Mississippi,
Firebird. It
the
looks
Grand
like
Eight.
Firebird or third gen
Holcomb out of
Camaro. I think
Coleman,
it's Firebird.
Alabama.
Can't really tell, but
In the Trans
anyway, in
Am.
the right lane, I think
Trans
I
Am.
saw that.
It's a
I think
Trans
I
Am.
saw. Is it? I think I saw that car for. Yeah, it is. I think I saw that car for sale not too long ago, and so this might be a new ride for somebody, or it
Sweet.
might be a ride that guy isn't selling anymore.
Hey, true. Let's see what happens here.
Two thou separate them up front. Win light
Both fast
goes
cars.
to Holcomb. 12 dead 3, 15 total for David Holcomb.
David
Buckwald
Holcomb.
10, take 13, puts him 8 thou under. David Holcomb.
Hey, door
Gonna
trust
move on.
rule. That's all I got for you. This old
Mikey Bloomfield left side, out
Come on, Mikey.
607.
Taking on
We'll take on
Hodge.
Jake Hodge.
Ooh.
Hodge right side. Wheeling the Anjay family Dragster out at 456.
I'll tell you what, if Hodge did win this whole deal, that'd be quite the interview for Gleghorn to interview.
I agree with that, and it would be quite the day for Jake Hodge. Brother's opening him up a new shop, a race shop, and he's really letting it hang out there. This would be a good payday. Let's check this out. Hodge is going to need to be 00 here.
I bet you Bloomfield kicks it at the 330 once.
Bloomfield's late. Jake Hodge
Four
has crushed
fouls
it.
separate them. Win
Hodge
light,
still
Jake
rolling.
Hodge,
Yep.
16 dead, 8 gets there, 2 foul.
He tightened that
Bloomfield
up.
12, 1 above, 4 no good.
I'll tell you
Jake
what, man.
Hodge goes
Old
another
Jake
round.
Hodge, he rips on himself more than people rip on him, but he picked the right day
Thomas
to
left
learn how
side
to drive, did
at
he not?
Madisonville,
I'll
Tennessee,
say,
down 489. Take on
he's
Jake
been tough.
Levatino.
I've seen him put up some really
Levatino down
really good packs.
449.
This is Levatino and someone else.
Keith Thomas held on to that Drag Race Solutions wait and see buy all the way to round 5.
Yeah,
Finally
this
got to
guy's
use
been
it.
rolling with the buy run for like 3
Finds
rounds.
himself here
Right.
in round 6. Just a few win lights away from $1 million win light.
Red light.
Oh,
Levatino is 7 foul red. Thomas is 10, airs it out to be 1 above.
21, not
Keith
bad.
Thomas going to go another
Yep.
round.
Rich Comer says, let's go Hunter Whitehead.
Left side, Bryce Self.
His old self
The
boys
Self
coming out of
Motorsports
Texas.
machined out at 438. We'll take on Steve McCrory, champ.
Here we
Come
go.
on, champ.
The Overkill Motorsports hot rod down at 461. Seems like he's been
Champ's
dialed
been
61
dialed
since we woke
61
up
for
this
about
morning.
2 months.
Yeah, but he's got 3. He's got at least 3 in his pocket.
2 very good hot rods. 2 very capable drivers. Champ been on the big money scene for years. Bryce still a little new to it. $12,000 separate them.
Champ,
Win light goes
dead one.
to Champ.
He's driving that
8
bad boy.
dead 1,
8 dead
9
1.
total. Gets there first 7 foul.
Champ
Bryce
performance, ladies and
let
gentlemen.
go 20 and puts
Champ
it 4
I'll tell you what.
foul under. Champ
I don't know why
gonna move on.
he randomly decided to not race the majority of this year.
Tim
because
Thomas
every
down
race he's been
465
to,
left side.
he's only been
Right
to, I
side
think,
is
3 or
Travis
4
Eaton.
major races, and he
Eaton
won
in the
one of them,
Cutlass,
and he's
down
been
6,
deep
10.
in all the others. And now he's deep into this one, going into round 7 of the guaranteed $1 million race. I mean,
It's a true statement for sure, but maybe he made the right move. You know, taking some time off. These Thomas boys, I tell you, Tim Thomas, these guys are good. This might be Timothy here, but let's check this out. I see another door truck back there too, so I still got a shot. Oh, he missed.
2 foul separate them.
door cars go.
Win
dead
like
zero.
Travis Eaton, 24
And that
dead
type of car
0.
isn't easy to go dead
Gets there
zero
first
with,
11
George, not
foul.
with a
Tim
headwind.
Thomas, 22. 1 above 3, no good. Travis Eaton.
Both cars in that round in the 20s. So that'll tell you, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the stomach with these drivers. I could tell that it wasn't crushed. But I didn't expect the dragster to miss it 20 right behind him. 24 dead 0 to take a win to the 7th round of the million. That you wouldn't think that would be a sentence to put together. So
A lot of door cars left. You notice that?
I do notice. I see a door truck sitting on the. Is that a buy room? No, there's a dragster back there.
Red light.
Thomas is 2 foul red. Bobo gets away with one
Tell you
031.
what, I haven't
And
heard
one
the last
above
name
Jeff
Bobo
Bobo.
for a long time, and those guys used to dominate constantly. And again, if I'm sure they didn't
Tyler
quit
Bohannon
racing or
left
anything,
side,
but I
down
just
to
haven't heard of them in a really
4:55
long
into
time.
Hunter Whitehead.
Here's Hunter.
And it looks like they showed back up.
Here's Hunter Whitehead.
Now
That's
6:54.
why Rich Crummer says let's go. He's in the S10. Let's go, Hunter Whitehead. Let's see. Your boy Tyler Bohannon, you called him out last week too, Casey.
Man, this is quite the chase.
That's a good light. Two good lights.
Man,
2 Hun separate them.
11 total.
Win light
He
Bohannon.
didn't run that
How about
all out.
11 total?
Ouch.
For Tyler Bohannon, 5 dead, 6
Whitehead's
gets
one
there
foul
first,
under.
13 foul. Whitehead let go 25.
Ouch.
That's the
Put
hardest
it a
thing,
foul
man,
under.
getting
Tyler
chased that
Bohannon
hard.
gonna move on.
You can't really judge that.
Kevin Glenn.
And neither guy can really judge that.
Out of Virginia,
but-
down at
so you
5
just
and
gotta pick your
27
poison.
in
You're
the
running
Chevy 2.
yourself, so how are you going to
We'll
do it?
take
You're
on
going to
Mark
run it all
Williams.
out? You're going to try to drop
Williams
it
in the drag straight out
What's your
491.
plan? Because neither one of you are really racing the other guy at that point.
True. That might have shot my chances at a door truck taking the cookie. Kevinoid Little just pulled up in the house, so we got Kevinoid here and Rich Comer, Hunter Whitehead. Just good showing, man. You made it to the split of the million, so don't you hang your head about nothing. This is the million we're talking about here.
Man, this Chevy 2 is nice.
It is a nice
It's
one.
dialed 520s, I think. Didn't it say 527 or something?
Yeah, I think so. It's got a good light too.
Identical up front. Win light goes to Kevin Glenn,
Man, that was a
24.
burnout
One of
right
about
there.
5 gets there first. 5
These guys both hate the
foul.
tires.
Yeah,
Williams
you're ahead
24
of the
and
stream.
2
Hold on, let me
over
make
gets
sure I'm
5
caught up.
foul behind. Kevin Glenn going to move his door car into the next round and final pair. Will Holloman left side, Willie Wood down to 4:45
Oh, Will.
out of Pine
Me
Level,
and Champ
North
saw
Carolina.
him just last weekend. He
The
said
brand
he's
new
going
Miller Hot
down
Rod
there.
will take on
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you and Champ said you were having dinner with him, quote unquote dinner,
Yeah.
a couple of days back. So pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
Saw him at the Little Brown Jug.
Little brown jug, close to home, huh?
Yeah, that's actually about halfway between. Turns out Will lives right down the road from me.
Gotcha. Let's see what Will's got here. This ought to be a pretty tight race here. Will's in the left lane, I think, right?
Will's in the left lane. They're both good.
10 fouls,
Got him.
separate them, win light. Holloman, 18. One above, one gets the win. Cancelar, 28, take 3.
Look at that.
To
Foul
be
and
2
swatch would have been a
foul
different story.
under. Had to
Right.
take a foul or less.
Ouch.
Will
That's Tucker
Holloman moves
Cancelar
on.
putting on a
We'll
good
have
show
a
right
new
there.
wait and see bye.
New wait and see bye. Sliding Casey and George back in, guys. Hey, let's take a look at these sponsors real quick before I do that. They got the sponsors showing on Motor Minis. I'm going to show that.
Trusted by all since 1960.
Jags.
Good.
Man, you got that right. Back at it's over here saying whenever you race a dragster, you just got to dial really, really tight. Yeah, man, especially whenever they're dialing like,
Motorsports insurance.
I mean, anymore,
Four
I saw
generations in the insurance business.
third round, it seemed like every other dragster is dialed 430, 420 something. So if you don't have a big block in a back half door car, I mean, they're hauling on you maybe almost 2 seconds, you know?
Kevinoid's in here. I'm going to coin his phrase again. Let go and kamikaze that bad boy. Run it on down the back end. Run it all down. Run it all the way down to the sand pit, but just don't go in there, okay? Just slow down before you actually hit the sand pit. All right.
Yep. And then we got our buddy Dylan Champion over here saying he said he got the first round win. Him and Brandon are down there at Kinston. He said Brandon's in my old Malibu run down there, and he said he lost both first round in the Boo. It's tough down here at Kinston right now. luckily Brandon can buy him back, and I've seen Brandon buy back and go all the way to the finals before, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Pretty good stuff. Yeah, man. No, but special shout out, guys. Motor Mania TV again. All the sponsors that's helping put on this guaranteed million. Really wish we could see this race back next year, but everybody knows what's going on in our country right now, as far as for gas prices and things like that starting to move forward. And we got to be smart, as I won't say small community of bracket racing fanatics, but a wise community. So smart move, kind of backing up. Looking to see some good things next year. I know we were talking to Cody Pollard not too long ago. He's got some good things underway, and definitely glad to see that. So I'm gonna fade us back in since that's all done. But yeah, Casey, man, what do you think about that round? That was a pretty good round of racing. A couple of packages I wouldn't have expected to get through actually made it through, however.
Man, I think whenever you get to this point, though, it's kind of like I said. I think everybody was all jacked up, ready to go. You get to fifth round; it's very, very important. Like, I would be willing to bet that more people might be nervous for the fifth round race than they honestly even would be in the final, because that fifth round is worth so much. It's worth exponentially more to get to sixth round than it is to lose at fifth round. And whenever you're already in that, yeah, it's obviously, if you get into seventh round, you're obviously going to make a lot more money again. But I think that's the huge spread right there, because even in the finals, the difference to win and runner up a lot of the times in these big races is a difference of like 10 grand, which seems like a lot of money. But when you're talking, in this race, it's going to be totally insane. But when you're talking a 50 grand, or a lot of times like the winner's going to get 35 and then the guy who loses will get like 20 or 25. Right. So the spread isn't so big. It's just like, man, yeah, I would have rather, obviously everybody would rather win and get more money, but you're already getting so much, it doesn't matter anymore, And I think there's a lot of guys in here that, a lot of times there's, at these big races, there's guys with a whole lot of money that are running this. But even guys with a whole lot of money, this is a whole lot of money to even those guys, And I don't think a lot of those guys are in right now. There's not a lot of what you would refer to as big names. Like Scotty Richardson isn't in right now, man.
Nope, Jeff Sarah got taken down.
Jeff Sarah.
And I think Will Holloman took care of him, So.
Yep.
No, man, I think you're right about that. I think there's Jake Hodges, he's got a decent-sized name. Of course, he's an announcer and a podcaster and a highly likable person at the same time. So he's got friends out the wazoo. Right. That's a decent-sized name. But, you Will Holloman. Will Holloman's won several races, so that's a decent-sized name, too.
Will Holloman, in the 80 grander last year, was still doubled in eighth round.
Right.
So, but here's the thing, man. We'll just go through the list right now. This is who's still in. Kevin Pollard, big name.
Big name.
Holcomb. He might be he's obviously a good racer. He's still in. But,
right.
I haven't really heard of him. I haven't heard, obviously, we've heard of Jake. Champ, he's big name.
Big name.
And Will Holloman and Tyler Bohannon, and then Bobo. Like I said, I haven't heard from them for quite a while, but I know they're good racers. They dominated for years and years and years. If it's the same Bobo family I'm thinking of Jesse Bobo, and I don't know if this might be his brother or his dad or whatever. But Bobo isn't a common name.
Gotcha. True, definitely true. So yeah, man, no, but good to see Champ still in there. Good to see Jake in there. I was kind of pulling for Tucker Cancellara there. Because he'd just been putting on a pretty good show, in my opinion, to get where he got to. So, but good showing nonetheless. Definitely have to congratulate everybody who made it past the fifth round. Matter of fact, if you made it past the third round, congratulations. There was a lot of tough racing going on out there at this race. So I think that was a $1,500 payday just to get past the third round. So
yeah, man, and. What's really cool about this is I'm fairly certain there's as many door cars as there are dragsters in right now. So even is even. And to be honest with you, of this, what would it be like? Kevin Pollard is, you would think, at a disadvantage this next round. He's going into this next round and he's going against some probably a dragster, delay box car. Kevin Pollard doesn't have a delay box, but if anybody is capable of beating a delay box car, it's Kevin Pollard. Didn't he win the first SFG races?
I'm sure he did. Kevin Pollard was cashing in left and right there for a while. And there's a few names in the bottom above the ranks that you would say you think they're at a disadvantage, but they really aren't. That's going to be Nasty Nick and Kevin Pollard.
Right.
There's a few others, of course. I'm not trying to sell anybody short, but those two names are bottom above royalty currently, if you would like me to be honest to you. So if anybody can get it done, it's going to be one of those two. But, hey, special shout out to TSR. Welcome. Thank you for being a huge part of the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel. Thank you for coming back with us for another year. So special shout out to TSR. We look forward to having some giveaways coming up as we discussed with TSR. They're going to step in and do some more giveaways for the channel. So can't thank you guys enough for coming on board for another year, especially. Thank you guys.
That's right, man. In fact, that's what I was doing all day today. I was putting the transmission in, got a new TSR valve body in there. My dad actually told me the other day, I told him, hey, man, TSR's coming back this year. He's like, oh, man, that's really cool. He's like, you should tell them that they were the only people that had this front pump that I needed for Mark's transmission the other day. So Will, again, thanks to everybody over there at TSR. Great service. Most important thing is everything's made in the USA over there. So whatever they say they got it there. They made it.
Right. Hey, definitely, guys, if you're running into any type of transmission issues, need to speak something out, the number's on the screen. Give TSR a call. They've got a wide range of experts over there who are ready to take your call and even help you out getting your program put together the way you want it. So thanks again, TSR. But definitely, Casey, as we continue to wait for this next round to show up, I'm not going to say I feel bad for my door trucks because you guys showed up and you done a good job, right? But I definitely have to jump on Champ McCory's bandwagon here again, just like we did last time when we went live from the 8th mile, the virtual 8th mile, as we like to call it. Champ McCory taking care of business out there, big guy. Taking care of business.
Definitely, man. And I just don't know. I mean, I saw some pictures of Champ that Gary Don was taking whenever he was at the Million. And it looks to me like Champ just seems like he's in a zone all the time. Like just no other thoughts are going through his head other than racing. What am I doing racing? You know, I'm over here checking my tires, you know, and there's a really good picture that Gary Don, I think, took. And Champ's over here just checking his tires, kind of looking away, not really hanging out, talking to people. And I mean, I'm sure he was and stuff like that. But at a certain point, you got to lock down and be like, okay, man, we got to get serious here for a minute. We're not here to play. You know, like we're talking right now, what could a race like this do for a guy like Champ that owns his own business and is a one-man show, you know?
Sure.
This is the type of money that you can create a storefront with.
Sure.
You know, you can have like a real deal shop where people come in and it's like the Walmart of Champ's performance parts. You come in, just grab stuff off the wall, like YSB shop was back in the day for our dads.
Yep. I definitely see that. I don't know if that's something that Champ really wants to do or if he enjoys being the virtual store that he is. He definitely has quite a bit of reach being a virtual store. You know what I mean?
Right.
But whatever the case, win this bad boy, and I expect to see some big things out of Champ. I'm going to go ahead and kind of switch gears a little bit here and say this. There is a young man, Kendall Little, the hired gun. That's Kevin Lloyd's son. And I have to be honest with you, the whole field is pretty lucky that Kendall Little was not in performance this weekend. I don't think I saw him all week. Kevin Lloyd, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I went and watched the kid race myself. And I would be honest with you, if I were able to have a hired gun because I just got it like that, man, that would be the first person I go to hire to put in a race like this. So Team 14 Motorsports, I think you guys are going to wrap that car. Kevin Lloyd might look something like Team 14 Motorsports, the junior dragster that Kendall won the world championship with. Hey man, I wish I could be talking about Kendall Little being in the final these final few right here too. Who would you, Casey, put behind the wheel if you just had it like that?
If I just had the choice and I could pick anybody I wanted,
Yeah,
I mean, first of all, you'd be a fool this year not to put Jeff Sarah in, right?
true.
I mean, you could go and go and go. I mean, as far as
So let's add a wrinkle. Because us getting Jeff Sarah from whoever has been backing him in the first place wouldn't be the
Right.
easiest thing to
Impossible.
do. So, of the hired guns that are not already hired, I'm sure there's still a pretty dominant list of hired guns sitting out there. Who would you take? I'm taking Kendall Little. You can't have him. Sorry, I'll fight.
I mean, if you, I would say if you would take a person who's relatively, like, if you want to consider like not a touring racer type guy and say, okay, you got the money now to do a touring type deal. I mean, I'd say Brandon Lane, man. I mean, like I said, that Malibu that I had, you know, that's a really good car, and I did reasonably well with it this year. Very first time Brandon Lane drives it, I think he gets to like 5th round at Galat with no time run, by the way. And I think the very next weekend he goes out, wins with it. Then I think the next weekend he went out and went pretty deep with it, and he's running it right now. And like we said, he lost first round in both entries, but he can buy him back and keep on rolling. Everybody does that every once in a while. He'll be running it at Michael Beard's Loose Rocker race here at Piedmont, the door car race during Thanksgiving week. So we'll get to see how he's doing then. I'm sure that car will be doing wheelies then for sure. I think Kenny might have just put new tires on it, and air will be good. So it likes it.
So what do you think? Are we going to go live from the virtual 8th mile for that event too?
I mean, we might as well, man. The only thing is that my mom and dad are coming into town for that weekend. So depending on how that all works out, me and dad are doing a ton of work to my Firebird, man. I had to have him come out. So that ways, I mean, we got to do a lot in 10 days. We got to weld some bars into the car. We got to build headers from scratch. We have to rebuild an entire motor. This is my first time that basically he's going to be here to tell me what to do, but I'm doing everything. I'm not letting him touch anything. I want to learn, because at the end of the day, one day he won't be here anymore.
True.
And I need to know how to do this myself, because I can't afford to race if I have to buy motors. I can't. So I need to learn how to do it myself. My dad, I mean, you know this, but my dad's been a mechanic his entire life. I hate that whenever people are always like, oh, I'm a mechanic. I work on cars. I change the tire. That means I'm a mechanic. No, my dad was a real mechanic. For 35 years, that was his job. And he builds race motors. You know, he builds entire cars, everything. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can while he's still around and can help me do it. And hopefully then that way we can kind of do some other things with GBR in the future, because we'll be able to do, I mean, at the end of the day, these motors you see that are for sale for 15 grand, that's because you got to pay for the labor. If you built that same motor yourself, that $15,000 motor with dart block and new parts and all that stuff, you're talking more like 10 to 12.
Right.
Because you don't pay for labor for yourself. It's your own labor.
Right. Sean Pinkerton says, and back to our hired gun, he says he'd go TG or Michael Paschal. I would throw them in a car and send them to the big money races.
So TG he couldn't get, because TG, everybody wants TG to run, but right. Michael, I would say, is just as good as TG, but he runs all of his own stuff. He doesn't really run for a lot of other people.
Gotcha. Good one there, Sean Pinkerton, definitely. The Paschal boys are definitely a force to be reckoned with. So, no, man, definitely. I'm going to cut us back into the screen, step away and refresh my water beverage here for a second, and we'll be right back to you.
Racing YouTube channel is your place for news, interviews, tutorials, and commentary on the latest happenings in the bracket racing community. Get your fill and let your voice be heard on the Going Bracket Racing live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a Going Bracket Racing live stream. Find us on YouTube and Facebook at Going Bracket Racing. We will see you there. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Perfect timing.
Hodge out at 456.
Big Hodge here.
All right, man. You know, one thing we got to say about this, too, is that they're really turning them around quick right now.
They are. And of course,
I mean, they're doing – that was the thing with
Thomas out of
with the OG
Madisonville,
Million,
Tennessee,
man. We
Hodge.
said that, too, the first time we did this.
His
live
new
in the
home
8th
in
mile.
Franklin,
You have to
Kentucky.
commend a promoter that can turn these cars around this quick because it usually doesn't happen this way.
correct. And there's still some racing to do, too, I believe. So definitely keeping them going down the track is smart. We've got racing to do tonight still. Got to get that 80K in, I do believe. So come on, Jake Hodge. I might have to jump on your bandwagon, too, sir.
Nobody wants to go in. It doesn't look like.
They're looking at each other.
Jake went in.
Okay.
He's already ahead of him.
You're ahead of us on the stream, Casey.
Hodge in control.
Man, he must have killed him.
Win light. Jake Hodge.
You're ahead of us.
028, 3 above. Gets there,
Yeah.
8 foul. Keith Thomas just flat missed it.
Jake was
053.
28.
2 above,
Thomas
no
was
good. Jake
53.
Hodge down to 5.
Jake Hodge to 5 in the million. Holy crap, that's going to be big. That's going to be huge.
Kevin Pollard left side, the no box winner out 541. We'll take on Jeff Bobo. Bobo down 619.
The footbreaker.
Pollard out of
Footbreaker's
Virginia.
chasing.
Bobo out of Mississippi. Pollard in control. Pollard with the win light. 12, 1 above, 3
Pollard.
gets there first. 23 foul. Bobo let go 27. 2 above,
That's
no
a
good.
footbrake car,
Kevin
George.
Pollard down to
Footbreaker still
5.
won. The footbreaker was chasing. How often is that?
David Holcomb
True,
left
but we
side
are
down to
talking about Pollard.
5-17.
He's
We'll
got
take
too
on
fast.
Champ.
No, bro.
Steve
foot
McCrory
break,
down at 457.
This is a really cool view too, George. Where they're
Yeah, I kind
actually
of like how they're
coming up
moving this.
in the cars. Like
Yes.
this is like a real. I mean, obviously we know this is a real race, but this is like a real like high-end NHRA quality type Motor Mania
Production.
feed.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do like it, guys. Motor Mania, that was an excellent view. This is excellent being behind the cars and switching in and out and going back camera and camera. I love it. I love it, guys. Let's go, Champ.
Not gonna catch him.
The other guy's
Oh.
red.
No wonder he wasn't gonna catch him.
Holcomb
And
flinches.
look at that. Look at this, George. Champ, what he run?
He dialed down.
457?
Yep, he says, I ain't carrying Jack. I'm down, I'm kamikaze.
Holcomb flinches. Champ
Perfect dead
is
for Champ.
perfect.
Perfect dead 3. huh?
Perfect. Dead 3. 3 total
Man.
for Champ. We'll move him on.
And bear with us, guys. As always with the internet,
Will
one
Holloman.
stream is going to be
down
in front of the other at all times. So
4:43.
Casey's watching the stream.
gonna take
and
on
I'm
Travis
watching the
Eaton.
stream. He's in
Eaton
North
down
Carolina. I'm in
609.
Texas. The latency is just going to be a little bit different. But you know what's going on. What's this guy doing? You see that?
Looks like I don't know. It looks like he was trying to do a burnout and maybe he ran out of water. What's he dialed? Maybe it doesn't have a lot of power.
There he goes. There it goes.
Holman down 443. Eaton down
He should have been able
609.
to burn him right there. I wonder what happened.
I'll tell you what, Holloman's got a lot of chasing to do here.
You got that right.
Holloman's got a good light.
Eaton's in trouble. Willie Wood 12. 1 above. Gets there 26 foul. Eaton was 59 and 8 foul under. Will Holloman moves on.
Glenn and Holland.
Final
or
pair.
Glenn and
Kevin
Bohannon.
Glenn down 527.
I like
Take
this
on
show,
Tyler
too.
Bohannon on
Right.
the Drag Race Solutions Wait and
Right.
See by.
It's fast
Down
and
to
it looks like it's all
455.
steel. It's probably not, but it looks like it.
Tyler Bohannon's sitting on the bye too, by the way.
Whoever
There's
wins
5
this
cars
round,
coming back. If he wins this, he's got to bye to the dang it semis.
and that's worth a lot of money, that buy.
You ain't joking.
I think I've seen this car actually at Galot before, the Chevy 2.
You right.
If I
that is.
remember right, he
That's
told me that, yeah, it's really nice in real life too.
One foul, separate them up front. Win light goes to Tyler Bohannon. 11 dead, 4-15 total. Gets there first, 15 foul. Glenn,
Listen to
10
this,
and
George.
2 over, no good.
I'll tell you.
Bohannon will be on
I'm
the
not
bye
taking
at 5.
Bohannon
Will
on the
send
bye.
himself to the semi-final.
Okay, listen to this. We just went from relatively a lot of door cars to the lone door car is a foot raker now. So we got a foot raker versus all dragsters now.
Wow.
What would that mean? What would that mean for, first of all, a foot raker to win a race like this? What would it also mean for a foot raker to win a race like this whenever it's all dragsters left? And we're not talking, normal dragsters. We're talking I think the slowest dial-in of all these guys was Champ at his 457.
Right. So, man, dude, a footbreaker winning it. Now, you did say it earlier last week, last Tuesday, that you thought a footbreaker would have a chance. That's my dad's calling me right now. Pretty sure he wants to talk a little trash. I'm going to answer it. Hang on, guys, 1 second. What you say, Dad? Jake Hodge is in. He driving for Canada, the Angers twins. Yep. Hey, you live on Going Bracket Racing right now. You are.
Don't get nervous.
You on the phone, and me and Casey are live from the 8th mile, so you're live too. Yep. So
Jake hanging in there.
he's hanging. He's been tough all day long, Pop. I mean, we've been watching him pretty much all day. And Casey, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
You can hear him. All right. I'm making sure Casey can hear you too. But yeah, there's one door car left, and it's Pollard, and he's hitting off the bottom. So, wow, that's just the way this week has been.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jake pull it off.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to see him get it. Yep.
Hey, you know what the great thing is about if Jake pulls this off? First of all, the working man's 10 grands might be working man's 20 grand, so that's good for the old man over there. And the second thing is that Jake might be having a whole lot more going on next year.
Yeah, just the cars. Jake went and got the cars from them. Casey said if Jake wins this, you hear me, Dad? Hello? Okay. Casey said if Jake wins this, the working man's 10 grand probably gonna be the working man. Yeah, I'm losing service.
Man, that's
anyway.
the same way that my phone is too. I was doing that last night too.
Right. Let me see. I'll let him know, Pops. Service. That's pretty neat though. He never gets online. He never gets, especially not on anything live. So that was pretty neat to have him call in while we're in here. David Stidham, what's going on, man? Welcome in. And Rich, man, you guy missed it just a little bit there. Yeah, my door truck, I definitely was pulling for any door truck that would go anywhere, and seen him miss it by just a little bit. But yeah, you're right. I think there's a lot of people that are rooting for Jake Hodge, including my dad, the way it sounds. So he says, my daughter dates Hunter. He's a young racer from Alabama. Very proud of him. Yeah, man, that's a good showing, Rich. I expect to see more from him, and we talk about this quite a bit on Going Bracket Racing. Once you get the first little taste of deep into the big money bracket racing, it seems like a switch gets thrown to where it's like, all right, I'll be back a few more times. I've been here to feel it once or twice before now. What do you think, Casey, man? You think he's got a shot going back?
Man, a lot of the big money guys we've had on our show kind of, and actually Champ McCory, if you haven't seen it, he's been on the show. Go back and watch. Champ was on live with us for GBR, I don't know, a couple months ago at this point. But Champ always has told us, and a lot of guys that we've had on that are big money racers, Luke Bogacki's been on here, they all kind of say the same thing, man. It's kind of like, you almost, if you're a normal guy, you need to win one of these big money races or go deep in them just so you have the money to keep going to them, because a good racer is a good racer. And they say the same thing. Those races aren't any more difficult than your normal everyday race. And they actually say a lot of times your local races are more difficult because you have more people participating that are really high level racers that sometimes just can't cough up well, this costs $3,000 just to enter a single entry in this race. And I would say that if you're going to do this, if you're really going to go to Montgomery and you're going to run for $1 million, you need to double enter like everybody else does, because everybody needs a second chance.
That's a true statement. Like, and let's be honest, of the cars that are left, do you think that any of them were doubled? Because I bet all 5 of them were doubled at one point.
I know that Champ was.
I know Jake
that Tyler was. I know Will was. I know Jake was.
Yep.
And Kevin was.
Kevin was. So, yep. I mean, yes, cough up $6,000 to double it. I can't do it. Anybody want to hire a gun? I might be able to do it as a hired gun, but man, I don't have that kind of scratch, to be honest.
Right.
So, coughing up $6,000, and that's just for the big race. Then you have the other races, the $80,000, races that are right there behind it. They are 80s, right?
There's an 80 and a 40.
Gotcha.
And and those are actually a really good deal. And they actually did say you can't enter, because Britton Galen, of course, we're on the Golden Bragg Racing live stream, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, talking about this race. And they said you have to be entered in the million, be able to run the other races, but they were allowing you this year, if you're singled in the million, you can double the other races, which
Correct.
Last year was not the case.
Correct. So they did open it up to doubles,
right.
Which was a smart move in my opinion. So I didn't get the final tally either. Did we ever find out how many cars actually started round 1?
I feel like I saw someone say 400,
Nice.
but I don't know that for certain. I mean,
Okay.
I just
I'm
feel
gonna
like
put it
I
in the
saw
chat,
that
see
in
if I
the
can
live
find
chat.
I'm going to see if I can find out.
I'll tell you what, George, the other thing that I wanted to say here, I don't know if Jake Hodge can believe that if he wins this race, I don't think Jake Hodge will believe this is true.
Well, don't
Like, I
pension.
just from us talking to him, we'll definitely, actually, realistically, anybody who wins this race, will try to get a hold of them and get them on the Golden Bragg Racing YouTube channel in a couple weeks or something, so you guys can actually learn about them and learn who they are. If it's Will, I might have him just come over to my house, man. He can get to my house probably in 15, 20 minutes. So just have him come over here and we'll stream it right here and be done with it. But, man, 2 of these guys we've already had on the stream, so we know we can get them back.
Right. And I really, really think that, and if he does win it, like you said, he might just disappear for a little while. Number one, spend some time in Canada with the owners of these actual cars, these diamond cars.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't blame him there. If he does that, I'd love to try to get him on the show again, especially while Gleghorn's on there. Those two, we might have to put a parental discretion sign up beforehand, but those 2 guys are going to come on and really give us a good show there. So
Hodge and Gleghorn are the explicit version of Fast and Fincham and Foley.
Right. Hey, hold on. Let's listen in at this. This is old Jake on the mic right now. So let's see.
That's the fun stuff, and be thinking about that last win line.
Yeah, I mean, we're just having fun. Like I said earlier, we're just having a good time, and there's really no pressure. Like, I got great people that own this race car that they don't care. We're out here having fun. They're just glad I'm not costing them money for once.
Well, that's the trip home hadn't happened yet, so let's not count those chickens before they hatch.
We're not going home. I have to go to Moroso. My fiance won't let me stay. So I have to go to Moroso for the 5-day and drop the rig off, and then I get to go home. So I'm going to stop at Disney World. By myself.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out really well for you.
Right.
Seriously, you're in a position that all of us that sit behind the mic dream about. You're in a great spot right here. A couple of win lights from racing for the $1 million check, man, and it's got to feel really good. And we're wishing you a lot of luck. I know you got a lot of people out there pulling for you.
Maybe a couple, but there's probably a lot more pulling against me, and I like that. I like that feeling, you know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, well, you know, I like to see people that frown when I make them smile.
Well, if people like to frown when you do well, you got a lot of frowning.
I'll make you smile.
Good luck, Jake.
Oh, Jake.
Jake.
He's something else, man.
I had to hear that. I had to hear that all loud. And looks like Jed's just gonna walk around and show us everything that's going on here. Oh, here comes the champ. Get him on there. Get the champ on there. I'm doing some numbers right now. We gotta wait.
Champ's probably just trying to find some parts real quick.
Right. Anthony Hurst, thanks for the comments, man. We appreciate you stopping in for us.
Champ, you have been on fire. You came out of retirement, and I came out of retirement. It didn't work as well for me, but you come out of retirement, and you've been on fire in the big money races. And here you are at 5 cars with the guaranteed million really just within your grasp right now. I mean, how are you feeling? You've obviously staged for a lot of great things in your time, but this has got to feel pretty good right now.
Feeling pretty good. I'm just happy to be here, Jed. I'm gonna be honest with you. You always wonder when you get on a little bit of a hot streak when it's going to end. So I'm hoping it don't end until after today.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. 3 total right there. Yeah. That was a tremendous lap.
Better than I thought I was. Okay.
Got to be feeling really confident this round.
Yep, I am. I'm feeling confident. The car's been really good, and I've been decent on the tree.
Well, I imagine lane choice is going to be in your favor, so that's got to be really good as well. And I'm not sure who you're facing, but
Champ and Will.
Oh, you and Will. Okay, a couple all-stars fixing to get after it right there. A couple of guys that can definitely run the dial in, so this ought to be fun to watch.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'm interested to see what
It's
both of
huge deal,
these
man.
guys dialed in
Congratulations on
because
getting this
both
far.
of them are
Good luck
known to
rest of it.
hold.
Thank you.
Well, we know right now Champ was down 461 pretty much all day, and he just ran 57 with a 3.
So I am of the
Missing 2 cars.
The type of person that I am says, if you were just 3-pack last round, let her rip, Tater Chip. Stay right there. What's the point in changing from 3 total last round where you didn't have to he didn't have to lift, he didn't have to do it, he didn't have to make a decision at the finish line at that point. I know that a lot of people say do what got you here. Do what got you here. But if you can let go 1 and stand on the gas and not have to worry about nothing again, you're going to the semifinals for the million. So on the other hand of it, both Will Holloman and Champ McCory will carry 4 or 5 numbers if they want to. And that's going to make for one heck of a David versus Goliath, or should I say, just
Goliath
versus
both.
Goliath, but Goliath versus Goliath. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I think after we see the dial-ins, I'll tell you for sure, but I have a feeling we're getting ready to see a double breakout victory between Champ and Will.
yeah, either that or somebody's going to park it. One car is going to break out, the other's going to drop the brake through the doggone firewall, and then it's going to be a done deal.
Well, there's also the other side of that coin is we're either going to see a double breakout win between Champ and Will, or we're going to see both of them go at least 1 over, I think.
Correct. Neither one of them are going to want to take the stripe is what I think is going to happen. And we're going to get into a big old who's going to take the stripe competition. And that's going to be a heck of a race, by the way. That's going to be one heck of a race, Will Holloman versus Steve Champ McCoy.
That will probably be, well, because Tyler gets the buy run, Tyler Bohannon gets the buy run.
Correct.
So that means that if it's Champ and Holloman, that means it's Hodge and Pollard. So there you go, man. I mean, so either way, we got either a foot breaker down to 3 cars, or we got old Hodge still rolling, man. So that'll be a good one too.
Man, either way you look at it, this is shaping up to be exactly what we expected. Great showing, great final rounds coming up. We're going to listen to Will Holloman here.
You've had a tremendous year. You've been on fire this year, driving really well. Unbelievable whip, and you're driving the wheels off of it. A lot on the line right here. You're down to 5. You got Champ. This is obviously a tough opponent. I mean, how are you feeling right now? Do you feel like you need to change anything in your game, or what's going on in your mind right now?
No, I'm just making my run. If he beats me, he beats me. But right now, I'm still trying to sort this thing out. I need to go home, get it in my shop, and do some work on it, get it perfect, because it's not. But I guess that's what happens when you bring a brand new car to the million. but I've watched Ray Miller bring a brand new one down here to this same racetrack and win $1 million. So it wouldn't be the first time it had happened.
It would not be the first. Definitely would be special. Obviously, first time out, there's always a challenge or two, but obviously you're overcoming them, whatever it's throwing at you, and you're driving really well, man. You got a great payday staring you in the face regardless, but I'm sure now that $1 million check's within your grasp, and you're really feeling like you need to get that. And again, tough opponent, but you're as good as any of them, brother, and you're having a great year, so keep riding the wave.
Yep. Thank you. I'm doing this for a living for, I guess, 5 or 6 years now. I've learned not to get complacent. Even after this is over, no matter what happens, there's still a 80 grander and a 40 grander. I'm just as hungry as I was when I left home.
I love the way you think. Think about getting it all, not just to me, man. Good luck to you out there, Will.
Thank you.
So what he just said now about keeping it even keel and not getting complacent, and there's 80 grand and 60, 40 grand, whatever else is left. Tyler Bohannon about to get on the mic, but you buying it, or do you think it's this is $1 million we're talking about here? I don't know if I could say to myself not to get complacent in 5 cars left for $1 million. What do you think?
Let's listen to Tyler. I'll give you my idea.
For the $1 million check.
It is now. I can tell you about 15 minutes ago when I was staging, it wasn't like that. And honestly, it's a good thing. I didn't even think. I knew that we were sitting on the buy, but I didn't think about the money side of it. I don't know why. And then I turned off, and Lane Dicker was down there by my trailer. He said, "That was a $60,000 round." I'm like, "Oh God, Lane, why'd you have to tell me that now?" I'm glad you waited, but yeah. So it is. I'm super excited. It's an awesome experience to be a part of.
See, I told you.
Glad to be here, and yeah, way less stress watching these guys race each other, and let a couple of them get out of the way before they get to me.
Well, you've done some big-time racing. You promote big-time races. You've handed over a lot of big paydays, and somebody's about to hand you one. We're just about to see how big it's going to get, man. Good luck to you out there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right,
I like
guys,
this whole interview stuff too, man. You got to do that a little bit more often as well.
Obviously,
kind of
Tebow
proves
with
the
the bye.
pits and
We're about to see who's going to advance to the
us an
semis right here.
understanding.
This is huge.
It is huge. Jeez.
So,
No, man. Back to my question. You got to answer that. You're not getting out of that question.
Here's my thought, man. So Will said, he's learned not to be complacent, things like that. It's been racing also full time for a living for 6-7 years now.
Right.
Now, the complacency thing is kind of going back to like what we were saying earlier, where Gary Williams says, okay, well, do what got you there. Just keep doing what got you there. That obviously was good enough to get you there. Well, what also was in there was Will saying that's his full-time job. When you're treating it like a full-time job, I would say it's easier to not get complacent because it's just like anything else. If you're dealing with, a client that's hard to deal with, if you're dealing with a project that's hard to deal with, at your regular everyday job, what do?
Right.
Like you just head down and you just keep going. You don't worry about it. You got to get the job done.
True.
You have to get the job done. There's no option. You can't just not do it. So I think that's kind of what he meant right there.
I think so too. I guess when you put it that way, it makes a little bit more sense. I know that you shouldn't get complacent, but we are talking about $1 million. And those words are going to be easier said than done. I see some cars moving into the burnout box.
Kevin Pollard and Jake Hodge is first one up again. So he likes that cool track, it looks like.
He likes where he's at.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, that's another thing too, is that what people don't think about, that don't, necessarily go deep in races is what's cool about right now at this GABR Guaranteed Million is they are pretty much hot lapping the car. Well, yeah, that makes your car get hot, your transmission's hot, but that track's sitting for 30 minutes at a time.
Very big buy run
now it
up
looks
for
like it's sitting
grabs
for 10 minutes at a time. That makes a big difference, man. Like you're talking
that I do believe both of these men can get.
So whoever wins this round could get a buy run.
To the final. This is probably the most important round of these guys' entire race, other than fifth round.
The most important round of their lives right now, if you ask me.
Well, that could be true
Correction,
too.
Pollard's already had a buy run. Hodge has not. Fourth owl separate them up front.
Jake's got him.
Jake's
Jake's got him.
19.
Going to the final, Jake Hodge.
Their first 6 foul.
Man,
Pollard,
going to the finals,
23,
Jake
one
Hodge.
above 6. Jake
Hodge,
Hodge down to 3
I
for
never
$1 million.
and I don't think I'm out of line saying this because I think Jake would have said it too, but I would not have picked Jake Hodge to be in the finals
Champ
with a guarantee.
McCrory left side out.
And I don't think Jake would have picked
61.
Jake either.
We'll take on
I don't
Will
think Jake would have
Holloman.
picked Jake.
Holloman out at 4:45. They must be better
So whoever
than
wins
19
this round will be
Hold
running
on,
Tyler
wait.
to
Bohannon.
get the bye.
Okay, so
To
Champ's
the final.
carrying 4. He's down 61.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And
He's
he's
holding.
blatantly, and everybody knows it too, and he knows everybody knows it. So what's the plan here?
Holloman's holding 2. He's down to 5. He was down 3 last round. It might be more than 2. Who knows?
You never know. Double breakout, I'm telling you. I'm calling it.
Will's good.
13 fouls separate them. Winner gets the bye. It's gonna
Champ.
be Champ. 5 total.
So he's
2
3
and
total,
10.
now he's
3
5
gets there
total.
first. 14 foul. Holloman 15 dead
Man,
for no
I'll tell you
good. Champ
That
McCrory
is a
is
good
headed
run
to
for both
the
of them.
final
Holding
Jake-
what they're
round
holding.
Jake Hodge didn't
for
get the
$1
bye.
million.
Hodge didn't?
Nope, Champ's got it.
Oh, because of the light. Because of his light. That must have been how they decided it.
Must be. That's interesting. I was hoping Jake
Tyler
Hodge had
Bohannon.
the bye, but that's okay. I mean, either one of them, Champ's performance
Down
on board.
483.
It's
gonna try
one of
shut it
our
off a little early.
sponsors here at the Going
Dialed
Bracket
it up
Racing YouTube
about,
channel, heading to the
3
finals
ticks
of
or
the
so.
million. Tell me
We'll
about
put
it.
that on.
Dude. The
14
I'll tell you
and
what,
one
man.
above.
It
Good
was,
lap. Half boy,
he
Tyler.
dialed way up and just lifted half track and still run.
So
I
down
don't
to
know what
3.
that on.
It'll be Tyler Bohannon, Jake Hodge,
Champ to the final.
and Stephen McCrory on the
I'll tell
bye
you
to
what,
the
man.
final.
Here's the thing, George. I feel like Champ, so he won that 100-grander, you know, it's one of those things like, oh man, only 100-grander. But in today's age, yeah, only 100-grander. But here's the thing, man. After winning that 100-grander, Champ was way deep at the OG million. And I know that Champ wanted to win the OG million bad, just like all the rest of us want to, you know. The OG million means so much. But you know what else means even more than that? A $1 million check.
True. Man, this is. I'll have to piggyback off what you said. When I woke up this morning, I didn't expect to see Jake from State Farm standing in the semifinals of this $1 million race. The guy's driving really well. He's driving really good right now. I feel for anybody who has to go up against that steam train of a car that Champ's driving right now. You were 3 the round before. You were just 5. So that's total, guys. I'm not talking about just hitting a tree. That's total. Once you were 3, pedal to the metal. You were 5, holding 5. So if that tells you anything, this guy's making good decisions down at the finish line. That's what I'll tell you. And he's taking the tree with him at that.
Right. I mean, stuff like this too. I mean, when you see those runs back to back, Champ's just got to be able to feel that car, right? I mean, he's just got it. He just feels it, you know, because we know, I mean, first of all, how confident do you have to be in yourself to run someone like Will Holloman when you were just 3 total, clearly all out, and now all of a sudden you dial up 4 against Will Holloman, who knows that you were just 3 total running all out. And now you're running all out again, or now you're dialed up 4, which he knows, and you know he knows that. How confident are you in your driving ability to try to pull that off and then pull it off? And not only just pull it off, but you were 3 total running all out. Now you're 5 total holding 4.
Yep. So,
back to back.
I don't know, man. And in my mind, though, however, everybody, I don't know if everybody knows the type of racer that I am, but my mind always says if I was just 3-pack, I'm not changing anything. Well, that's not the mind of this particular champ, McCory. I can be 5 holding or 3 pushing it down all the way through the gap. So this is definitely a show that I haven't seen on a track this many times in this many rounds that actually count. I haven't seen this in a while. It's normally always a package that gets across that's subpar. Well, I don't see any subpar out of Champ right now. As a matter of fact, what was Jake? Can you remember his package? Because I think it was teams, wasn't it?
I want to say that he was 15 on the tree or something.
So nobody put 3. Nobody put 5 on the board. I can tell you that. Champ put 5 on the board there. So.
And that's what got him the buy. Was I think it's either based off packages or lights.
Yeah, it
and
had
either
to be
way,
based off the light there, I'm pretty sure, since there were 2 people who hadn't had a buy run. Like, if Champ had a buy run, then Jake would have the buy run right now. But Champ hadn't had one either. So, I think it probably went off reaction.
I think either way, I'm saying that they either determine it by best package or light. That's whichever. But the point is that Champ's package was better than Jake's light anyway, so he would have got it either way.
Sure.
But man, this is wild, man. I mean, Hodge and Bohannon, that's going to be a good race. Bohannon and Hodge, for that matter. Hodge can be a good racer. He talks a bunch of crap on himself, but Hodge can be a good racer.
Absolutely. And normally he's driving that old Hook and Hillbilly, if you guys have ever seen that old car.
Mm-hmm.
But Sean Pinkerton, I'm pretty sure they were on a ladder. I don't think this is random pairing going on here. When we listened to the interviews, they kind of already knew who they were racing. So I'm pretty sure this was laddered. Yep.
Yeah, man. We
got some live interviews. Let's check them out.
All right.
Sir, could we talk for a moment? So we're down here at the finish line, hanging out, where everybody's watching all the great driving and all that stuff going on, where I dream of being out here on the racetrack with Steve Cisco. Cisco, you've won a race of this magnitude. What's going through? Obviously, the guy with the buy run's feeling really good right now. But what's going through their mind in the semis? Are they thinking about the money? Are they thinking about the fame? Are they thinking about just execute? What are they thinking?
I'm still amazed that the Chevy 2 didn't win. That Chevy 2, I figured that was that was going to happen.
Chevy 2.
I'm sure everybody's got some kind of nerves, and there's a lot of money at stake. Up here, the most fun is watching Easton, Jake Hodges' kid over here, go crazy every time the win light comes on. So I'm sure everyone has their favorites, but I think a bunch of us over here are rooting for your daddy because of you. But it's a lot of good racing, a lot of fun. I'm sure there's some nerves.
That's pretty stand up right there, you know.
Win or lose, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of smiles.
So obviously this is a scene that happens at all of these big money races. When you were in this position, did you see any of this going on? Did you even pay attention to it, or are you just focused on what you're doing? And
we were focused on what we were doing. We had John helping us here, but the main thing was getting done so we could eat, and that's our best part of the day. You remember that, right?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the eating always, but big deal right here, man. This is huge, and I know you like all these guys, but do you have a favorite right now?
Well, it's hard to bet against Champ at any time. Tyler's been driving good. I think Jake is a favorite because he's one of you guys. It's
we'll take you to lane.
You root for him because he normally tries to make you look good. But
Champ McCory,
anybody wins, we're going to be happy for all of them. But I can't pick anybody. But Champ, I would think, is a favorite because he's a badass and he's got the bye to the final.
Not a bad spot to be in. All right, man. Thanks for your input. Somebody that's been in that spot is pretty cool. Easton, let's chat a minute, bud. Let's just talk a second. Let's sit down with me right here. Let's just chat for a second.
This is Jake's boy.
What's going through your mind right now?
I don't know. Just anything. I have no clue.
Well, you've been around racing a long time. Obviously you're not real old, but you've been around most of the time that you've been around. So you spend a lot of time at the races. You know how big this is, right?
Yeah.
Does Dad talk about winning this race, or does he do his typical thing, say, yeah, we're going to go beat second round or whatever? Or does he talk about how cool it'd be to win?
He talks about how cool it would be for sure.
There goes Tyler Bohannon to the lane, messing up your interview. Your dad's going to have to whoop up on him for that. Do you understand how huge this is and how historic it is?
Yes. I mean, I know how huge it is, but historic wise, not I don't know that.
Well, somebody's fixing to make history, and it could very well be your dad, which would be a really cool moment. So, what do you think you're going to do if he turns on this win light right here first?
I don't know.
Well, that's the good thing. You don't know, so it's not pre-planned. You're just going to react the way you react.
Just going to react.
Pulling for you guys, bud. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
You nervous?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't be nervous. The hard part's over. All right. Anybody know who's in charge of this down here? Who's giving away all this free beverage and such?
Live from the virtual 8th Mile on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel, we go to the real 8th Mile where there's a fountain of soda waters getting passed around. So this is pretty neat, guys. What do you think, Casey? Who you taking?
Man, I got to take Champ. I mean, I'm with Cisco on that one. Champ's got to be the favorite on this whole deal. I mean,
it's totally unacceptable.
He's already done it.
It's true.
B&B Racing
I definitely, and I'm not going to chime in on all these interviews, but I definitely think Champ's got the upper hand. He gets a shot at the tree. He gets a shot at the track before he goes into the final. Those are two things that that really add up. Number two, Champ is driving a FTI-owned Overkill Motorsports race car owned by Troy and Gary Williams, or Troy or Gary. It's one of the other. You know what I mean? And so he's definitely not taking anything away from anybody else's parts or anything going on underneath in the motor or any of that. But that's a very well-known race car that he's driving. The best of the best everything is inside of that car.
There's a very good possibility that that particular car, if it's the one that I'm thinking it is, and I'm not sure because I remember I thought that car had a chrome cage at one point, but if it's the car I think it is, that car may have won more rounds than any other car around right now. I mean, other than maybe Ricky Jones's Camaro.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But,
so, not taking anything away from anybody else's car, by the way. I know Bohannon's got a heck of a machine. I know that the Angers twins have the Angers. I always do Angers. I don't know why. The American in me. I'm sorry. Angers twins. I know that car is definitely put together well as well. So you're talking about, of course, 3 tip-top machines, but you're giving one of those machines a free hit at the track to then have to turn around and come back and race the guy who was 3 and 5 and next. Let's see what he is this time. Number one, he's not going to run it all the way out the door. I can tell you that. So you ain't going to know what it's going to be.
And that was what I was going to ask, man. And we got NHRA 101 over here saying Champ versus Jakey Poo in the finals. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, man. But that's a question that I did have is what do you think Champ's going to do? Do you think – because Champ's already shown his cards, so why not run it all the way through? Like, what's the downside to that? Because he obviously doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't care if you know.
I don't think I don't think there's a thing with running it and, showing the cards. He don't care about that part. It's more so the turnaround coming back from the next round. So what's the point in putting heat on that car for a full pass whenever you can go dead on holding it to the metal or dead on carrying 5? There's not anything you really need data-wise on that racetrack unless you get thrown into the opposite lane, where I feel that would be the only reason that I would make a full shot. I might get potentially thrown in whichever lane. I want to make sure that my car is going to respond the same in each lane. That's what I see.
Speaking of that, that reminded me that there was a time last year at some point where Hunter Patton was in this exact same position, and he made a half-track shot and shut it off. And he said, he's like, man, I didn't realize that it was actually the overall package is what determines lane choice. It wasn't fast car determines lane choice. So he's like, man, if I would have thought of it, I would have ran it all the way through to try to have a good package to get lane choice. He got pushed from his lane. So depending on how that is, could easily depend on if Champ runs it all the way through or not.
Yeah, definitely. And so there are definitely reasons to run it all the way through here. There's definitely going to be something to gain from running it through, but I just don't see Champ running it out the back door here. I don't see it.
Yep. It's I don't know. I guess it's all in your strategy. We know he can go dead on either way, so he doesn't really need to.
Correct.
And that's the only reason I say what I say is that I really don't think Champ cares what, like, he clearly does not care if you know what he's holding. Will Holloman knew what he was holding. Will Holloman is not somebody, if you aren't confident, that you hold against.
Yeah.
And it's one thing, George, to be dialed 457 in third round or 461 in third round, and then all of a sudden in seventh round, now you're dialed honest, and you're slowly creeping up on it. But to blatantly go run 3 total, dialed 457, and then all of a sudden you're dialed the very next round, you're dialed 461, and now you're 5 total. I mean, how good of a driver does it take, first of all, to even do that, to hold 4 and run that dead on? But second of all, how confident are you in your own abilities? And third of all, how much do you really not care who's in the other lane?
Right.
Because he clearly did not care. I mean, Will Holloman is not somebody that you just take lightly.
Well, one thing that I can say Champ probably has going through his mind, and I don't want to jinx the guy, but in his mind, he knew he was going to crush the tree. And that's why he done what he did. He knew, all right, I'm going to be low 00. I haven't missed much all day long. But I can pick whichever way I want to race here, and I'm confident. At that point, the dial-ins are so close, as we're going to get into some interviews here, but the dial-ins are so close. Here's Champ. I'm going to be quiet. Here's Champ.
You are going to get to go by yourself right here, and you get to go to the final with a lot of stress relieved off of you.
It is a nice feeling. It's
what-
the best buy to get in any race.
What'd that lap look like?
I was 2. Will Holloman was 14, and I was cutting him in, and he gave me one big rip to kind of fall back behind, and I started ripping to catch back up to him, and just ended up going my way.
And you were what total?
5 total.
3 total and 5 total in your last 2 laps with a single right here. I mean, confidence level has to be peaked right now.
It's pretty high right now. Feeling pretty good. Me and this car's been getting along, so.
You have been getting along very well with it. Do you think there's any chance that that Okie Dokie's excited right now?
I'm betting he's probably really excited.
Does he leave you alone while you're doing this, or is your phone blowing up?
I haven't heard from him. He's talking to somebody in the pit. I don't know who it is, but somebody's answering his calls, I promise you.
All right, man. Congratulations.
There it is, right there. Uh-huh.
Huge final round coming up, man. Make this bye run, get ready, and good luck to you, champ.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you hear that? He just asked Britt. He asked Britt if he had to break the beam, so
You just keep doing your
not gonna
thing,
run it
Jake.
there.
No.
I'll talk to you while you're doing your thing. Yeah, I mean,
See
we want
what
to get
Hodge
you in
has to
action.
say.
We want to get you in action. Let's go down here. I'll go down here with you, checking the tires.
We're a little low.
Biggest.
We're going to get some.
You got to burn out. Got to burn out a little harder.
Oh, Hodge.
Almost knocked him over. It's the nerves.
Something else.
It's the nerves, man. You gotta get some
I would have
air.
just burned out a little harder.
I'm going to sit here and say it. I could come up here on flat tires, and I'd prefer that over Hoosier Racing tires.
Oh, God.
Well, that's because you don't know much about racing. But seriously, you're about to stage the biggest round of your life so far as racing goes. What's going on right now?
Well, my good buddy Tebow, I announced his practice tree race. He's driving our good friend JP's car. And this is a big deal to me because we raced a $5,000 at Hardinsburg, which is a hole-in-the-wall track back home, and he beat me in the quarterfinals. So I pulled up here and I said, "Hey, do you remember that?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, me too."
You owe him big time. Great time to get him back. Good luck to you,
I
Jake.
just think that Hodge is just having a good time. I really don't think he cares. I think it goes back to the whole deal, George, what I was saying. Whoever won, when you won it in 5th round and you're in 6th, normal guys don't care anymore because you
Hate to
made
barge
so
in your
much
office,
money
sir,
already.
but big
Right.
round coming up
Check
right
this
here.
out.
Got the bye run there in the last round. Big round against a tough opponent with the opportunity to go to the final here. What's going through your mind, Tebow?
Just keep on trying to turn on win lights. Me and Jake have raced together for a long time, so it's cool to be able to know one of us is going to go race for $1 million in the final, and Champ's one of my buddies too. So it's just cool to be here and have a couple of friends to race against in a big moment like this.
Great outlook,
The
bud.
best
We wish
thing
you luck.
is two of those guys are promoters right there, so there's going to be some good stuff in the Midwest for whoever's there
All right, guys.
next year.
Semifinals coming up. Obviously, Tebow and Jake
True
fixing to
statement.
square up with
True
Champ in
statement.
the bye. It's going to be big.
Back to your Jake
Can't wait to
Hodge
watch it. I'm gonna
comment.
watch
He's
it
having
with you.
fun.
See you in a minute.
Jake Hodge is nervous. Okay, anybody would be nervous at this point. Tyler Bohannon was nervous. Champ, like it or not, you were nervous too. All right, this is nerves here. This is a million. There is no way you can tell me. You couldn't name to me one person right now who wouldn't have nerves running through their veins for $1 million.
Semifinals getting ready to roll around.
Yeah, man.
They're all back there.
You're probably right on that. And
getting ready.
And on a second note,
Jake
there's
Hodge
a very
going
good
to take on
chance that
Tyler
this is going to be the last opportunity to run for $1 million in a very long time, because Britt said him and Galen aren't doing it next year. Kyle has told us he's not doing it next year. He's probably going to do a 525, something like that, but he's not going to do $1 million. I mean, this is probably the last time this is going to happen, potentially forever. I mean, unless we get an amazing economy like we had the last couple years, I just don't see this happening ever again. This is probably the last opportunity.
Yeah, I do see it. I do see a million coming back, but I do think it's time for a break from that big of a show. Regardless, if somebody wants to throw it, though, I do think that there are people who will show up for $1 million. Nonetheless, here comes some cars to the burnout box, and we know who this is, so let's get in it. Thank you, Motor Mania, for the stream. All the sponsors behind the Motor Mania stream, guys. We can't thank you guys enough over here from the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel for allowing Motor Mania to keep this free to the viewer. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button on the Motor Mania stream right now. Hopefully there's somewhere over 1,000 likes by now, because there's 1,000 of you in there. There's probably 2,000. There's probably 4,000 in there.
Final round.
Here we go.
Tyler Bohannon left side. The Louisville, Kentucky native. Wheeling J.P. Schuster's hot rod out 455.
I'm going to say this right now.
He
If
will
there's
lead
any
second
time
by
that
a
Jake
HUD
Hodge needs
behind
to
Jake
be double O, it is right now.
That's right.
The Anjay family diamond dragster down
I want to hear
456.
if Jake wins this,
Winner.
pay attention to what Glade
Takes
Horn
on
says.
Champ.
I want to see what he says.
Gotcha.
McCrory.
Don't forget you're ahead of
For
us.
$1 million. We will, for a fact, crown a new $1 million winner, as neither of the three of these have ever done it. None of the three of these have ever made the final of $1 million. Tyler's in. There's Jake. We let go.
They're both good.
4 foul. Separate them. Win like
Jake Hodge.
to
Hey.
Tyler Bohannon. 16 dead. 8
So
gets
Bohannon
there.
and Champ in the finals.
17 foul. Hodge 20.
20.
Stops to
Yep,
be
Champ
2
ain't winning
above.
it.
And it'll be Tyler Bohannon and Champ in the final round for $1 million. Looks like
And what's
Champ's just going to
crazy
break
is
the beams here.
that Champ hadn't been running that lane, has he?
He's
Wasn't
just
he
breaking the
running
beams.
left lane?
Oh, he's
Well,
just
I'm
breaking the
saying,
beams. Yeah.
Because Tyler is obviously going to get lane choice, and he's running the left lane, so he's pushing Champ, and Champ doesn't even care.
Champ don't care. Yep, Champ don't care here.
Champ breaking the beams. And him and his Overkill Motorsports ride will be staging up for $1 million.
And what's really
on the
cool
opposite
about
side
this
of Tyler
race, George,
Bohannon.
and I'm sure they'll do it the same way they did last year, the coolest part about this race is whenever you see the check get presented to whoever it is in the final, it's going to say really what they're getting.
True.
It's not a, it's got 1 million on it. It's like, no, that's exactly what they got. So there's no, what was the split? What was this? What was that? I heard this. I heard that. They're like, nope, that's exactly what they got. So you know what we paid them.
The guessing game's out of it. Hey, George, I said it, the GOAT. George, wait, hold on. I think Champ is just waiting to see. I'm looking at YouTube and Bracket at it racing. Back at it racing says, hey, George, I said it, the GOAT. Eric Enders is the GOAT. I know that's what you're talking about. Jake around 12 pack. I was hoping in HRA 101 he needed to be. He was gonna have to be 12 pack to get that win. So, and our stream is quite a bit behind everything else. But
man, so let's talk about this, George, because we got some time here. And I already told you about this morning. NHRA 101 brought up the reactions to the guy running over all the blocks because he threw a fit, basically. So here's the rules. This has been the rules forever. I think it's on page 2 of the NHRA rulebook. I've known this since I was running junior dragsters. The number one thing, first thing that your dad should ever teach you if you're running junior dragsters, or your mom, or whoever's running you, grandpa, uncle, whatever. You look at the scoreboards before you pre-stage. That is what it is. Once you pre-stage, when you're both pre-staged, then you've committed. That's the dial-in that you have chosen. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. It is what it is. Now, once the other guy has staged, and he's up on the converter because it's a foot brake race. Well, the guy starts deciding the dial-in's wrong. He's trying to get the starter's attention. He's lucky because that guy decides that he doesn't realize what's going on. He goes over and puts his hand in front of the other guy's windshield. Well, auto start's already controlled, or already set, whatever you want to call it. So the tree drops at that same time. Well, the starter being involved, if that guy, who was wrong, by the way, who accepted the wrong dial-in, if he would have kept his cool and he would have just said, okay, the starter interfered, he probably could have got a rerun. But instead, he chose to get out of the car. I don't know what was said between all the track crew and everything, but he was clearly throwing a fit. Got in the car, floored it away from the line, and then proceeds to go drive down the middle of the track, hit the 330 cone, hit the mile-per-hour cone, and hit the 660 cone.
Right.
So at this point, you're like, okay, now you're probably getting thrown out.
Right.
So
Casey, hang in there. I see Brad Gephardt coming into the show, I think. Brad Gephardt, do you hear us? Brad, you there? Brad, you there?
Up, man?
There he is.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Brad Gephardt in the building? Hold on, let me get some things set up
Can
here.
You hear me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's perfect.
Cool.
Hey, you're live on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel, man. Your picture's perfect. Wait, what do you think, man? What kind of analysis you got for us?
Oh, man, I'm still reeling a little bit from the heartbreak of Jake losing, man. Jake's my boy.
Can you believe how far he went? I mean, I don't think he can believe how far he went.
No, man, I can. I absolutely can. Jake puts his game face on. We give him a lot of hell, because it's fun to do.
Right.
But, yeah, whenever Jake puts on, man, Jake can put on. I know he caught a couple breaks whenever he needed it. So that everybody needs that. You got to have that to win one of these big races.
True.
Man, I'm happy for him. Nobody, not a lot of people that deserve it more than that, man. So I'm glad to see him do well. Keep his name in the hat there.
So let me ask you this, Brad, because I know how you like to drive and stuff like this. So you drive similar to how Champ drives, and you know Champ. So here's my question for you. Whenever Champ goes 3 total, dialed 457, in the next round, back-to-back, now he's dialed 461 against Will Holloman, who is no slouch, who knows that Champ just run dead on, running 457. Now he's dialed up 461. How confident are you in your driving ability to now go 5 total, dialed up 4 against someone is also holding and dialed quite a bit faster than you?
All right, well, it's a little bit different deal whenever you're oh, hold on. Sorry, guys.
You're all right. Hey, yeah,
I'm watching. You guys are watching.
Right.
Man, I can't really answer that because it's a whole different ball game whenever you're Champ Corey. Whenever you're the chump, I'm sure that you got a little bit more confidence than any of us else carry. There's nobody better in the game. I don't care what number he puts on it, he can do it. I don't care if he dials up 2/10. He's probably got a spot for it.
Right, man. And the thing is too is like he was so close at the OG million. Do you think that we all know how important the OG Million is. Like the OG Million's like our U.S. Nationals. You know, you have to win the OG Million. To be considered one of the best, you have to win the OG Million. If Champ wins this and not the OG Million, does that trump that? Does that mean that doesn't matter so much anymore? You know?
I think so. I think anytime you're winning something with million in the name, and it's not because it's called the Million. It's everything that comes with it being $1 million race. So you can't just slap $1 million tag on it and call it something great. But I mean, look at who's putting on the race. You know, it's as top tier as it gets with those guys. I mean, all those guys putting on $1 million races. They're really pretty equal whenever it comes to what they mean. I think the OG Million it will always be one tier above the rest. But no, man, if you accomplish this, then that's just good.
Yeah, right. This here is bracket racing royalty on the line here for either one of these drivers. I mean, you win $1 million. I don't care how you split it. You are the winner. You got first place at the guaranteed $1 million. I know his drag racing career's his career's already solidified, right? But if it wasn't, geez, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it's been solidified. I mean, Chump will go down as one of the best to ever do it for sure.
Right.
But that's something else. We're talking about a real $1 million.
Yes, sir.
We're not talking about the OG Million. Now, you want the OG Million trophy because it's like you said, it's the U.S. Nationals.
Yep.
Right.
You want that, but I mean, we're talking, that's life-changing money. I don't even know what this is.
Right. I mean, this is legitimately, especially for someone like Champ who owns his own business. I mean, who knows what Champ's performance can turn into after this,
Yeah.
I mean,
no question.
The other thing is George and I were talking about this earlier. Do you think that this is ever going to happen again? Britt and Galen have said they're not doing this in the foreseeable future. Kyle Riley's not doing it in the foreseeable future. Unless we have an economy like we had in, say, 2019, will this ever even happen again?
And I think that's exactly what's chasing these $1 million races away. It's getting expensive to travel. So I think we will see it for sure. How long until we see it again? That's the real question,
Right.
Yep. I think it's coming back, and there's still a good chance that we'll run for $500,000 next year with SFG. So
we're not going to have a shortage of huge paying races for sure.
Right.
I do think, however, that we'll see a bunch of smaller. You're going to see a lot more 20s. I think you're going to see a few more 50s. I know you're going to see a lot more 10s at the local area because this next year is going to be pretty good for the locals. Hey, we got a little noise coming. Let's chime in here. If I can get the sound, where you at? Mics are live, so we can still hear.
You just took out Jake right there in the semifinals. Huge round. You're fixing to race one of the best there is, as is he, for the $1 million payday. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, me and Champ, we're going vacationing together actually next weekend, and we both said we didn't want to go racing anymore this year, but I guess it worked out for the both of us. So my uncle is who we're vacationing with.
That's wild.
My uncle's not going to like us next weekend, but it's super cool to be here.
How can you not be happy for all these guys? I mean, especially the final three. Well, I mean, who's the oldest? Chump, I guess, at probably 32.
Barely. Right.
32.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, guys.
That's a whole nother discussion. I mean, this is big money for some young people that,
Right.
It can be a launching pad, especially for somebody like Champ who's already got a really, really good thing going.
Well, and look at what Tyler's doing. Tyler's promoting some big races. I mean, he's going to peddle all this money back into his own program next year. There's a very good chance of Tyler. Well, first of all, just making the finals, that Tyler and Champ, it's probably going to be a difference of like $10,000 of who wins. So they're winning the same amount of money basically,
buddies,
in the grand scheme of things. So I mean, with what Tyler's taking home here, free and clear. I mean, obviously, I'll have to split it with his car owner somehow, but that money's probably going to get peddled there. You might see Tyler Bohannon having a bigger racing series next year because he already had 3 or 4 races this year.
Yeah. Yep.
Gee
so
whiz.
I mean, it's hard to say, man. I mean, you don't know what this type of stuff could actually do for all of us, let alone just him.
Exactly right. actually, you know, both these guys, I mean, they live, breathe, eat this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like every decision that they probably make is, you know, based around racing.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Well, I mean, their lives revolve around it. I mean, they both make their living in the racing industry. They both, like, one provides parts, one provides races. So either way, these guys being in the final actually benefits all of us.
Right.
They still gave Jake a big check. That's good.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice. And 40 grand of it too. Look at that.
I think it might say.
Oh, that says 90. That's 90 grand.
96,000. It says, I think.
90,
I think
96.
that's 90.
So even if he only gets, even like, I feel like for some reason it seems like everybody says when they're driving for people they get 30% or whatever, and I think that's
if the car owner pays the entry, 30%.
Yeah. So that's still almost $29,000 though, and if he gets half of that, which that's what I always kind of figure is more fair, that's 48 grand.
Let's not get it twisted because the owner of this car is from Canada, so the exchange rate. Mr. Canada's gonna make a nice little piece of change off that exchange rate, so that's
Jake May
nice.
sending a little extra back up there.
Right.
Got to convert them into loonies and toonies, man.
Hey, nothing.
So be it. No, man, but we were right before you came on, Brad. We were talking about this. I guess it was a no box car that didn't like that he staged on an incorrect dial-in and proceeded to take all the cones out all the way down the track. How long has that rule been in place in your opinion, Brad? I mean, that rule's been here forever. If you pre-stage on the wrong dial-in, you own it. It is what it is. And I see some comments here, you know, some people have said, I've heard them say, where if you stage on an incorrect dial-in, it's yours.
Yeah.
So which one is it?
Well, for this race, it's pre-stage, and I mean that's very clear. Ryan Harem posted a picture of the rules. You accept your dial whenever you pre-stage. It's written there in ink. Sorry, I mean it sucks, but I mean, what a way to walk off whenever you're bad.
Oh man,
I'm taking all the cones with me.
I don't think I've never seen
to encourage that, you know, because that's what I'm really kind of against, you know, all this doing for my GoPro stuff that we have going on at bracket racing right now. You know, I hate that, so I hate to glorify it, but man, that was funny.
Something else, he took out the cones.
I can tell you right now, when's the last time you saw, now this might have been the wrong dial, but when's the last time you saw a 7-second car take out that many cones?
Shoot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a first.
It's definitely
it is this time.
Must have had a real bumper on it.
Right. Hey, Brad, do you know who's prepping this track? Because this track has been phenomenal all weekend.
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe it's called Mass Traction. I don't know the guys. I don't know who they are, but yeah, shout out to them. I mean, dude,
man,
what was Larice dialed the other night?
389.
Dude, he was dialed.
You could see the humidity coming in and dialed 389 and going dead on, laying down sub 10 packs.
186.83.
Right.
Yeah. Now let's give credit where credit's due. Larice has got a phenomenal setup. I mean, to be able to run something that many times back to back, but also as consistently as they've been doing. A shout out to them, their engine builder. I mean, that's a group effort. To be able to come out and do that, it is really phenomenal in my opinion.
Hey, true. And keep it in mind, guys, we expect, or we're definitely going to try to have Larice on for the Winter Series to give you guys a little bit more information about what they can do for your racing program as far as protection. A lot of us ride around with our cars unprotected, and I'm not so sure that's the right way to be doing it right now, especially with the amount of money that we have wrapped up into the thing that we love to do.
I know
somebody can just take it from you in a heartbeat.
I was literally just having this conversation, and it's like, man, I got to figure out how to work that into the budget. Well, that doesn't really work into the budget, you know. I mean, that's probably some fuel I could buy. And then my wife's like, "You're talking insurance. What do we have? What do we have to build back if something bad does happen?"
Right.
You know, and it's like, well, you're.
Look at all the trailer fires we've seen. I mean, the thing is, I've heard a lot of stuff, and Jake might have actually been the one to tell us this, that the problem is whenever you get a trailer fire in an enclosed trailer, it burns everything on the inside, and it's burned by the time you see the smoke. Like, it's already done. So by the time you see it, there's no putting it out. It's done. It's burnt up.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
And you were right too. It's Brandon Mass out of Mass Traction. And hey, Brandon Mass, shout out to you, sir. The track whisperer, or what I might call you. We got a final round coming, guys. Let's cut it back in, and then we'll
final round coming.
We got a good one. Here we go.
Look at these guys all over here with their little lightsaber things. Like a football game.
Oh, this is sweet. I really like what Motor Mania is doing with these views, kind of walking around with the camera up on these cars like this, man. I really like it. I feel like I'm almost there.
Exactly. Yeah. It definitely feels real. It feels bigger.
Definitely.
Bohannon left side.
You know, and I wonder how much of that
55.
Britt and Galen, because they don't do this to this extent at these other races.
Right. And I think Britt and Galen probably had a lot to do with it. And special shout out, Big Jed's on the mic. Everything always runs pretty smooth as far as the mic goes. You got I lost my train of thought. Leghorn's on the mic too. Everything's working.
The world felt balanced whenever I heard Jed back on the mic, man.
That's true. That is true.
He's the best, man. He's the best.
Here we go. Who you taking?
Man,
These two guys,
I don't know. I'm
great
happy
friends.
for both. I got to go with Chump.
I'm going with Chump too. No, Champ. I'm not calling you Chump.
Nope.
Brad can.
Champ's already in. Here comes Tyler. Tree
Let's see
will
what he can
fall.
run.
Oh, Champ says red.
Goes red by 12 foul. Tyler Bohannon is your $1 million winner. 12 on the tree. Clicks it off early.
Gee
Champ.
whiz.
I would have never thought
Just got a little too
12
much.
foul red.
12 foul red.
Hey, man, it
and
happens.
Tyler Bohannon.
It happens. Sometimes, sometimes you see the electricity, flowing to the tree.
True.
Right. Yeah, man. Or maybe you get that one too many bumps type thing, or
Yep.
foot slips off the brake pedal. I've had a million things happen, man.
Yeah.
You
Well,
never think about this, Brad.
That's you're quicker now than you are whenever the sun's all the way down.
True.
That,
At dusk. Right at dusk.
At dusk.
And you know why I know that? I know that.
I need to roll 10 in sometimes, but deciding when that spot is because it's only about one hit and then it gets dark. Slow back down.
I heard that from one person. It was you, Brad. You told me that a long time ago, man. Right at dusk, and I've been 000 red in the 5th round 3 times at dusk.
Yep.
So it's like, man, I was just 10, but then, man, you just boom, you got it. It just glares at you. So yep.
Gateway was the worst about that because you actually had to, when they had amber still, remember when they still had real amber bulbs right before they switched? That was whenever we were still kids then. But I mean, it was, whenever they turned the lights on, it was actually, it was brighter than the sun was in the daytime because they had such big floodlights on the starting line. I mean, Gateway was weird, man. Right.
Awesome.
And then you go somewhere like I-57 where it's pitch black and it's a totally different story.
This is awesome. This is how I like spinning a race, though, live from the virtual 8th mile with my buddies. You guys, if I know that, some of you guys are sitting there, you might want a chance to get on here and be live with us. Hey, that we can make that happen too. You know what I mean? But just another aspect of, trying to bring forth something different. This idea of live from the virtual 8th mile, whenever Motor Mania goes live at the actual 8th mile, and you see all those people standing out there having a good time. You got Jake Hodges' boy down there at the finish line having a good time. He gets his interview.
Shout out to Easton for a great interview, too.
Great interview. You know what I mean? I don't know what I would have done either. My dad's racing for $1 million, but this is what I like to see right here, guys. So how much racing do you think they're going to keep doing, Brad? Because I think they got a race to finish, don't they?
Oh, yeah. They'll go as late as they can. I mean,
right.
You can usually, the end's coming. You can see that dew kind of coming across the field. And, once you see that rolling in, you usually, depending on the wind, you only got 20, 30 minutes past that point, it seems like. Whenever it rolls in heavy. So,
heavy, huh?
So we'll see. I don't know exactly what the weather is like down there.
Right.
But depending on how much humidity, the less humidity in the air, the later they're going to be able to race tonight.
Right, true.
They'll be calling them bright and early in the morning. I can tell you right now, and Gleghorn will be on the horn right up there, being like, "You need to get here right now. We are going right now."
Right.
And,
So,
and I think Tebow's going to be telling them, "I'll be there whenever I feel like getting up."
Whenever I feel like getting there,
Tebow
huh?
might not show up tomorrow.
He might just leave tonight.
If,
Nah. He's
if I
showing
win
up.
the
He's on a hot
guaranteed
streak.
million, I might not run tomorrow.
Hey, Casey, you do remember you put Tyler Bohannon in the run to win it, though. You remember that, right?
Man, I actually don't remember that, but it seems like something I would do.
Wasn't it Tuesday? On Tuesday's show you mentioned Bohannon winning this thing?
I probably did.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good, man. He's really good, and
he's very good.
I feel like
very good. You know, and
I feel like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I think that Tyler's one of those people too that I think he gets to the point where he's like, I don't really know another way of saying this, but I really don't think he cares as far as like, I'm setting up to be 3, and if it's red, I don't care. You know, something like that.
Yep.
That's got to be the highest low pressure situation that you can experience, to know that, hey, at this point, you know, I've made more money than potentially I probably ever will in my racing career, maybe even the rest of my racing career combined.
Right.
What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
Nothing to lose.
I mean, and like you said, Dusk probably got both of them too. So I didn't hear what Tyler was. Did anybody hear what he was on the tree?
I thought they said 14, didn't they?
Yeah, I think 14 too, but I know that Champ was 12 foul under, I believe.
It was 12 red, yeah.
Yep.
Got the shootout. Here we go.
Yep, pulled the old shoot up the way. We'll chime in for this. Look at that sky. Look at that sky. That's dusk, bro. That's dust.
Yeah.
That's got dust written all over it.
And the lights aren't on. Notice that. The lights are not on.
No, that's got dust written all over it. So, I mean, if you learn anything from going Bracket Racing YouTube channel with this, when the sky looks like this and you're pulling up, you know, getting ready to go out for the next round, be careful with that old light. It's going to jump at you. I'm going to bring this up and turn some volume up for us.
Yeah, do that.
And look who's interviewing, old Jake Hodge.
Well, at least you made it worth it. Champ turned it red. You were 12, right where you probably wanted to sit, right there. Nothing stupid, nothing too aggressive, but man, you are a $1 million race winner. $1 million guaranteed. And we pulled the chute.
Well, Mikey did that. This is going to be tough for me. My dad and Megan and my mom and everybody are back home.
JP.
Oh, yeah, JP too. But so many people have made this happen, you know, and JP Schuster gave me this car, and, you know, just an unbelievable race car. It's been so good to me in the month that I've had it, and we were struggling with it at South Georgia, and Hunter Patton came over and said, here, I got some parts I think will fix it, and he put them on there, and that's what, you know, made it the race car that it is today, him and JP combined, and without those two guys, and there's no way this car would be what it is, and without my dad and my mom and my family, I wouldn't be here.
You've cost Chuck a lot of money this year. A lot. Chuck Bohannon has spent a lot of money in Diesel Field. Does this make it worth it?
I hope so. He didn't answer my phone call when I turned off the racetrack, so maybe not. I don't know.
I called him 2 weeks ago, and he finally called me back Monday.
That's Chuck. He's got 2 phones, and he don't answer either one of them. So, man, this is unreal. I just want to thank, you know, Galen and Britt and everybody involved for putting this on. I know how hard this is to do, and how, you know, this isn't just, these guys didn't just show up here on Monday and have this race. I mean, this is, you know, this is a year in the making, and you know, I just want to give a hats off to them, and, you know, Mickey Thompson Tires and all the companies that helped me, Sunoco Race Fuels, and it's just, it's unreal. I don't even know what to say.
1 day away from your 1-year wedding coming up. 364 days, you're going to have a wife. Are you going to be able to still come out and race with us?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. As of now, she's good. She's sitting at home. Well, she didn't look like she was at home. I don't know where she's at. But I just talked to her. Yeah. Oh, she's with her parents. Yep. But, you know, I wish she was here. My sisters have been rooting me on. They never watch a single race. And they texted me after second round this morning and said, we'll be watching. And I'm like, you never watch anything. But I guess they picked the right one to watch today. But, man, this is awesome.
So, $1 million race winner. It was a 10-round race, 399 entries in round number 1, a guaranteed $1 million. When did it hit you rolling up through this? Did it hit you whenever we had all these light up sticks up here, or was it a couple rounds before?
You know, I'm 23 years old, and all my life I've thought about winning big races. And, you know, I think about the feeling that, you know, rolling out here for the final, and really I was, you know, really sixth round I was in worse shape than I was pulling out here for the final. Maybe that's because I had you, you know, at 3 cars and Champ, you know, buddies. It really didn't matter to me which way it went. Of course I want to win, but if I'm going to lose, I'd like to beat my friends. And so I think that helped a bunch, helped keep me under control, because Dad texted me right before the final. He said if I was there, I'd be no help at all to you, just so you know. And I was like, well, that doesn't make me feel any better.
Well, we were friends, but we're not now. But Tyler Bohannon, your $1 million drag race winner.
That's wild. Yeah, Tyler Bohannon's like 20
race shot, great
you forget some of these guys
presented by Chevrolet Performance.
Tyler Bohannon's been doing some big things on promotions, racing, and you've been seeing it for so long. It's like, man, if you would ask me if he was 23, I'd have told you you're crazy.
Right, and now he's got the kind of money now where he said he's getting married a year from today. I mean, you're sitting here thinking, well, you definitely can buy a house now, pay the whole thing off, be done with it. You know what I mean? He's getting enough money right now to just pay a house off. Unbelievable.
Yep.
A nice one.
Funny. That's funny that you mentioned that, because I was sitting there thinking earlier, I was like, man, what would my first purchases be?
Yep.
Not a single one of them was a house. It was race cars, stackers, motorhomes. So,
well, some of these motorhomes are big enough. They're basically a house. You just live in it.
Right. Hey, if the wife was on board, I'd be there.
Right. Well, we all would. You just need a shed to put it in, and you're fine. No big deal. There's a house.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy. This is great. Definitely thanks, Brad, for stepping on with us, man. You can step on anytime. I'm telling you. I mean, it's nothing to it but to do it.
Yeah, I forget that we're doing something here. I thought we were just hanging out.
Hey, we're just hanging out. That's all.
That's all going bracket racing is just hanging out.
Hanging out. Just a good old club.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. But before I go, man, I want to make sure Ben Willis gets a big shout out for what he's done down there at Montgomery. I don't know him personally. I know Brandon Taylor's friends with him, and Brandon's told me just everything that he has done down there. I mean, they are keeping that place. Well, at first they were keeping it surviving, and now they're obviously thriving. So, big ups to those guys. Really, really, really glad to see, Montgomery having a bright future in front of it. Because, I used to live about 3 hours south there, and man, that is, you want to talk about people that eat, breathe, sleep racing. It's that area, and Montgomery is kind of pivotal to that. So I'm glad to see that it's in such good hands. Look forward to making my way back down there for sure.
Heard that, man.
Definitely.
Hopefully I'd have to imagine they've got some big things coming. Again, thanks to Motor Mania TV for the ability to be able to view a track like this. Montgomery's looking pretty good, to say the least. And the track was definitely on kill. And it's going to stay that way, obviously, because I know they're going to pull some more cars out here. But it got cold last night. And like you said, we watched the car go 389 like it wasn't no problem at all going down that track. So definitely. Casey, you got anything in closing?
No, man, just thanks again, Brad, for being here with us. Thanks for everybody who's watching live from the 8th Mile. We'll get it out on podcast for everybody. So hopefully the audio will be better on this than it was for the OG Million. And everybody gets to relive it as soon as I get the time to upload it.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for chiming in. We'll see you guys Tuesday.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate you.